Excitable Speech by Judith Butler is a complex book that covers a wide range of topics, such as free speech, hate speech, racism, pornography, censorship, and more. The book explores two principal ideas: a theory of the subject and an argument about hate speech and the law. Butler argues that the subject should be understood linguistically, drawing on Althusser's concept of interpellation. She suggests that naming and language continually shape and reshape the subject, giving it a social location. Butler seeks to reinstate agency in the process of subject formation, emphasizing that agency begins at the point of linguistic circumscription. One of the notable arguments in the book is Butler's explanation of how hate speech can wound. She suggests that hate speech reenacts the formative address that brings the subject into being, thus confirming or threatening the subject and the social body it belongs to. This argument highlights the power of language to impact individuals and communities. Butler doesn't adequately address the difference between the initial formative address and subsequent addresses in interpellation. The reviewer suggests that interpellation requires a subject, and that Butler's account overlooks the subject's presence before the moment of interpellation. Butler proposes that insurrectionary speech emerges from the social and political position the subject occupies, rather than solely from subject formation. However, there is a distinction between subjectivity as an irreducible feature of consciousness and the subject position, which they believe is foundational. Butler also discusses the relationship between meaning, intention, and relationship, and highlights that the disjunction between meaning and intention enables resistance, or if it is resistance that opens up the gap between meaning and intention. This issue relates to different views of the subject's role in speech. Butler also delves into the issue of hate speech and argues against relying solely on legal responses to address it. Butler contends that resorting to the law is flawed because it requires working within the ideological limits set by the state. The legal definition of speech varies depending on the outcome that suits the state, protecting certain kinds of speech, while categorizing others as conduct. This distinction between speech as expression and speech as conduct reflects the significance of performative speech acts. Butler challenges critical race theory, which aims to reform the law to uncover biases and inconsistencies. She argues that hate speech is not a single act but a citation, a repetition of a convention. Within citation lies the possibility of alternatives, including counter-speech. The speaker of hate speech is not the origin, but a belated and fictive origin, created through the chain of resignification. Prosecuting the speaker misses the point, because hate speech relies on continuous structures and prior uses. The state, in legislating hate speech into existence, marks the boundaries between acceptable and unacceptable speech and determines its intended effects. While Butler's argument is persuasive, there are aspects that raise concerns. The applicability of her theory is questioned, as it may not align with different legal systems, such as the UK. The relationship between performativity, illocutionary and perlocutionary acts, and non-verbal actions needs further clarification. Additionally, the notion of the speaker as a fictive origin contradicts Butler's recognition of human agency within limits. The responsibility for specific instances of hate speech lies with the speaker's will to mimic or repeat. Although the book advocates for more speech as the answer to hate speech, the portrayal of the state raises concerns. The state is sometimes treated as a less abstract model, such as the neo-Gramscian account presented by Omi and Wynant in Racial Formation in the United States, could provide a more comprehensive understanding of the mechanics of state speech and its complexities.